Hey everyone.
Hi. So we have started admitting people. Sneha, you can meanwhile turn off the waiting room and we can start off with the session. Hey, Aman, hope it's audible.
Yeah, it does, it does.
Great, great.
I was kind of waiting in the Google Meet and then I
Oh,
realized
you joined the Google Meet. Okay, understood. Anyway, I'll just start off with a short video and then we can get on with the session.
sure.
हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए। यहाँ हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहाँ आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ जो आपको हर कदम पर वन टू वन गाइड करेंगे। यहाँ आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहाँ आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining the session today. My name is Rohan, one of the co-founders of QFuzz. QFuzz handles the mentorship requirements of Apna, and at Apna, we have been running this Apna community programs, which is exclusive to multiple topics. It's been running on a daily basis at 7 p.m. on weekdays and 3 p.m. on weekends. And the majority of the session, the main idea is to help people ideate across the career and advance in the professional career. And also, we are covering a wide range of topics. Starting, it can be as simple as a spoken English topic and to technical topics as well. And today we have Mr. Aman with us. We will go through the Web 3.0, that is the changing times of the internet, with Aman as a topic. And Aman, without much overdue, I think I'll hand it over to you. You can just give a very short introduction about yourself, and we can start off with the session as we are delayed by 5 minutes.
Thank you, Rohan. It was a pleasure. So, hey everyone. I'm Aman and I'm currently working as senior Web3 engineer at Formidium. Before that, I've experience working with a startup in tokenization space. So we were building a platform to invest in movies and music. And before that, I was working in HP as an emerging technology developer. So I have experience working in different technologies from the start of my college era, and I've been experimenting with different technologies like AR, mobile applications, websites, blockchain, and now I've moved full time into Web3. So that's a brief about how my technical journey has looked through the years. And right now, we are working on a tokenization platform for fund management. So I've been into tokenization space for like last 2 years now. And this company, the previous company, I was working in the tokenization space. And we'll talk about what tokenization is and like what are these terms which I'm throwing at you in the upcoming discussion over the lecture. So how many of you has like heard the word Web3 and tokenization, blockchain? Can like just give up in the chat, just yes, no, quick yes, no. One no I get. And guys, like, well, we are like very less people in terms of like, so that you can also like interact with us, and that's what the whole idea is, for you all to also get interact and learn from the mentors on all the upcoming lectures. So the more you interact, the more you will learn. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of notes in the chat. Um, so so this means I will keep the session a little bit more introductory and help you guys understand the terms itself. So let me just start sharing my screen. So like, what is Web3? And so Web3 is a new progression of the web. So we have Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 till now. So whatever we experienced till now, like social media applications, Facebook, Instagram, all comes a part of Web 2.0. Just give me a second. Again, I think getting something and sharing. Just give me a second.
Hello.
Hey, Aman, is everything fine? Guys, we'll be back in less than a minute. Really sorry. I think there is some technical challenge. Or sharing the screen. We'll be back in a minute. Aman, is everything fine?
Hey, am I back and audible?
Yeah, man, it would be great if I mean if there was some kind of an intimation given because we are losing participants. That's why.
Yeah, I'm just sorry for that. I'm really sorry for this.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, please.
So what I was telling before is, so right now what we discuss or interact on the web is kind of part of Web 2. So we'll just see how the progression has looked like through over the years of the evolution. So let's just first see how the evolution looks. So this is a very basic of how a website would have looked like in 1980s, 70s, early 2000, and very basic minimal login, and you just have to enter via your username or password or email. There was no social media applications and other. The next part which came into the web was of the introduction of the tech giants like Facebook, Google, Twitter. And as we saw this tech giant grows, as all the products of them were free, the how are they making money is by selling the data. Hello. Yeah, no. It was some video game sound, right? So as we became the product, our data is accessible to a lot of people. And so whenever you log in on a website, say you log in via Google, your data is being shared with multiple parties and you've been showing advertisements. Similarly, the more you use these, the data is shared between multiple parties and more eyes are on you to track what you see. And yes, Karthik. So we can read and write in the Web 2 part. In the Web 1, we can only just read the data because whatever has been published, we can only just consume. In the Web 2 era, we started getting to write as well. So you can post, you can interact, you can post your videos on YouTube and post on Instagram. So the pushing data from a user side started in Web 2 world, but it came at a cost of like lack of privacy. So and your data is being shared to make you advertise because you are the product. And the next part of the evolution in the internet is called Web3, where you can read, write, and own your data, which means you are the owner of your data. So if you're logging into any Web3 website, the website does not get your data, and majority of the interaction in the Web3 world is done via wallet. So what is a wallet? So wallet is a similar, so how we have our username password in the Web 2 world, in Web 3, we have a wallet which stores all your data, all your currencies, and may help you interact with different technologies. So it can be via digital or hardware, both. But the most common is digital wallets, which are called soft wallets. And so it looks like this. So when a company gets a data, they do not get, okay, this is Aman Shah or this is Harsh. What they get is this alphanumeric number as the key, and your data, which is generally shared, like the email, is primarily used. And later you get spam emails from the companies you logged in on. This does not happen in Web3 world because you own your data and in able to interact, you do not have to reveal that things. And everything you do, all your data, money, different assets that you own. So digital assets, you must have heard a word called NFTs, like all the news which were ramping up that cat images being sold for millions of dollars. That's not like welcome to the future. But what an NFT signifies is just not an image. We'll learn more about in the later area. But to just simplify, it is ownership on a particular asset. So how would you prove that you own something? Is via NFT or digital assets. So what all the Web3 is basically based a lot on blockchain technology. The interaction, the mechanism is based more on blockchain technology. So let's just see what a blockchain technology is. I'll just check chat for a second and then. No doubt still there. So what a blockchain means. Blockchain is basically just a distributed ledger. And now you'll ask me what a distributed ledger. Calm down. I'm not just throwing jargons here. So what a ledger is, ledger is an entry in form of anything, right? So in traditional times, the people used to make an entry in a notebook, right? That red long notebook that you have seen was a ledger entry. So imagine that 4 of your friends have the same notebook. Each of you has a copy of the ledger. And whatever transaction happening, so you both are, say, business partners or somebody who exchange money together, like in the circle. So whatever transaction is happening between any two parties, all 4 would write in the ledger, which is a ledger entry. Now, if you expand this to a larger scale of network, like say 100,000 of nodes, which would consist of blockchain, which is a linked ledger entry, and it's available for all to read. So everybody who is part of the network can get the same data at the same time, and it has to be verified. So a new entry cannot be done until it's verified by all the members, or it is verified by majority of the members. So if it's say 4 people are in the network, so it has to be approved by more than 2, that is 3 people. If you for 6, it has to be approved by 4. So you can scale it up. So it's basically 51% people should be approving that entry. So the word blockchain is derived by block and chain. So what a block means. So block means cryptographically encrypted data for all the transactions. So whatever transaction has been done in a particular time, we will use a cryptography algorithm to convert that data and save it in one. Consider as a container. So you have different containers that are linked together. So each container, you will put some transactional data and lock that off. And the new container will know what the previous container was. So that is the chain. So that your new container knows who comes before it. So that forms a continuous chain of blocks, which is came to be known as blockchain. So the cryptography is basically converting any raw data to an encrypted hash format. There are a lot of algorithms like SHA-256, or consider this as a function that gives you a fixed output no matter what the input was. So say even, so that's an encrypted data. So in earlier term, Cryptography can be like tracked back to like the ancient times. Even the messenger for king used to like encrypt the data in some cryptography algorithm. Nowadays, we have more sophisticated algorithms that are used to store the data. So we does not save any raw data on the blockchain. It's always cryptographically hashed, which means it's encrypted at all time. So what does mean for a normal person beyond all these buzzwords that I've just said, like DLT, blockchain? In simple words, it's an open network. So there is, as we all come from computer science background, or no, we know that there's something called database, right? Which say if you are logging into Google, um, so Google has a database, um, and all your data is stored in the database. So instead of that, your data is stored on different networks, and there is nothing directly signifies until you know that wallet address. So say if you have to transfer money from one person to another, right now what you need is a bank account, an intermediary, which is your bank, and if it's an international payment, you need another intermediary trails like uh, international bank or Swift network, whoever is the intermediaries, and then it will come to a person. So there will be a lot of intermediaries in money transfer from person to person right now. But this changed when in 2008, a person called Satoshi Nakamoto introduced Bitcoin, which was a peer-to-peer communication money transfer protocol. So you can directly transfer to someone else without worrying about any intermediaries. So this creates an open network of things, open network of applications. Say, for example, right now, if Google wants to ban your account, they can do it. They can just say you have violated something. You would not know why, because they control everything. In Web3 world, the application would not control the data, the user would control. So if you want to stop or withdraw, you can do it. Otherwise, you can still there is no like censorship in terms of what you can do and how you can do it. So this empowers the user, take the power from the application layer to the user level. And that's what the true Web3 is, where the user is owner of its own data and it interacts based on its terms. So now that you will think about blockchain is just about cryptocurrencies, right? That's all will be all majority of the hype is about what are the different currencies. Meme coin, there are thousands of different coins. So
I'm sorry to interrupt. We'll just possibly pause for a minute and maybe check if anyone has any questions. If
sure.
guys, please feel free to mute yourself, unmute yourself, and feel free to ask, check with us for any questions, any
Hello, I'm
doubts, any
audible.
clarifications, definitions. Well, we are happy to take it up. If not, you can go ahead.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, Ajay. Aman, you're on mute.
Currently, I have joined the session now, and I want to know that is Web 3.2 all about the blockchain?
So there are different definitions about Web 3.0 actually is. What I consider to be a true Web 3.0 is how you would interact with the internet in the current norms. It's just not all about blockchain. It also includes how you would interact, say, your user interfaces, how you how your currency revolves in there. Metaverse can be like in collaboration with Web3. A lot of definition says metaverse is also part of Web3. Some say it does not, but it also a new way of interacting. So you might consider into it. And AI. So if you like introspect and get a broader image of how you would gonna interact with the internet in the coming years, uh, I think it will be combination of AI, metaverse, and blockchain.
Like currently, I have learned the Java and microservice. Like for the Web 3.2, should I learn JavaScript with backend as Java?
Um, so that depends on like which layer of Web3 you want to have work with. So
Like I
even
have to work with enterprise level application.
so then you are talking about like private blockchains and governed systems. So for them, you should take a look at Hyperledger Fabric and its relative technologies, uh, in which I think you would be able to code in Java as well. Um, so for enterprise level blockchain, the most used right now is Hyperledger, if you're talking about the Web3. And if
Like
you,
is it worth learning Java for Web 3.2, or you should learn Python?
so majority of Web3 right now, which was the earlier phases, is more focused on, if you talk about the community availability, is in JavaScript. So when you're asking, I should learn this or not, that depends on uh, what you want to achieve or how what you want to build with. And see, technology and languages will always be a medium for you to produce something. So in the coming years, maybe like you can, depending on what interests you, you can learn different technologies. If you want to, for Web3, especially in just Java, I don't think there is too much support. And if you want to learn like Web3, I think the most support which you can get in terms of tutorials and learnings would be JavaScript.
If I learn full stack JavaScript, then it will be helpful for me to build a Web 3.0. Like,
Yes, it would be.
thank you.
So any other doubts or we'll move ahead?
Like, is it like fresher friendly to to learn Web 3.0?
So it does have some learning curve, but if you spend some time, I think that you should be able to
Like
grasp it. You
how
would get
many how many months? Like 6 months.
that totally depends on. I can't give you like a definite answer to it. It would depend on how fast you grasp, or you can like maybe just a basic thing you can come up with even a week as well. Like if you understand basic computer technologies or things, but to in depth, I think 3 to 6 months that would take you to understand. And then it's an always a learning because everything is changing very rapidly in terms of emerging technologies. So when I talk about emerging technologies, I say AI, Web3, like blockchain, uh, metaverse, and all these. So the things are changing very rapidly. So you always have to be a continuous learner and like upgrade yourself while you do the job or build something.
Like currently, I have learned Java and microservices. Should I learn the blockchain to get knowledge?
So that totally depends if you want to learn, or because if you're looking for a job in Java and microservice, um, learning Web3 would not help. But if you want to explore the if the world fascinates you, I would give you like totally go for it, try it out.
Thank you, thank you.
So let's just move ahead then. So till now that you would be saying ki, based on all the hype which is around in the net, you would say blockchain is just all about cryptocurrencies. But it's not like that. Cryptocurrencies is just one part of the layer, which is the transactional layer, which allows you to transact between two things. And the medium of that is cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency trading and the speculation is a very different game in terms of it's a market and it's manipulated and controlled by a lot of people. So, but the true aspect lies in the digital innovation or the technology which is behind it, which is blockchain, and what you can do with it, and what are the different use cases you can come up with it. So after the Bitcoin in 2014, Ethereum was launched. So Ethereum allows you to deploy smart contracts. So what is a smart contract? Smart contract is a piece of code that is run on decentralized internet, and people can interact with it from all over the world. There is no restriction to what it can do. So consider it as programmable money. So you can put all the logics which there it needs to be, like transfer only because on certain condition is met, for or to store the data. For example, you want to create an application called to track the supply chain. So you want to know at every aspect of the supply chain if the good is real or no, or who interacted with the good. So allowing codes to run on smart contract was the new digital innovation which came around 2014 with Ethereum. Now there are a lot of options on which you can write smart contract, you can deploy smart contracts. But the fundamental of the concepts lies the same. It's also in blockchain, and it has nodes that run different codes. So wherever you interact on a blockchain, so now you would be seeing as nobody knows me, or how would the transfer will happen, how someone will identify me as a person on the network. So there is a concept called public and private keys, which is I think used in cryptography and normal uh, computer science terms as well. So private key is that which is with you. No one else in the world knows it. Public is something that you only know, like that everybody knows. So consider public as your username, private key as your password. Um, so people who have to interact with you will interact with you by a public key. And whenever you have to prove that this is you, to like maybe sign a transaction or approve something, you will use your private key. It's a combinational pair which generates when you join a network. So public key is something that everyone knows. Private key is something that you only know, and you are responsible for keeping it safe. So when you now see you interact with or buy cryptocurrencies on a lot of centralized exchanges, like Binance, WazirX, BitBNS. So that time, the private key is not with you. Private key is with that company. So that's why all the scams that has happened in the blockchain ecosystem, most of them has happened because the private keys or the data has been leaked by the company which was holding it. So it's very important when in the blockchain space, as much as try to get your own private key via a non-custodial wallet. So what a non-custodial wallet is, I think I just showed you a glimpse of MetaMask. So let's say this is what a wallet looks like. This is what everyone would know. This is your public key, and private key is with you. When you will create an account, you would can see it and you can keep it safe somewhere. But now if I go and interact with every company in the Web3, I can just interact using my wallet. So when we talk about centralized exchanges, as they create the wallet for you, they hold the private key. And all the leaks and all the scams, most of them have happened because their servers got hacked, or they some some hacker got access to private keys of the user from there, or the system does not had created private keys only for the user. They were storing all the money in their own wallets, and which got compromised. So whenever you are interacting or buying any cryptocurrencies, please make sure you're buying it's safe to buy on a decentralized network instead of a centralized network. So we just talked about like what is a basic of blockchain is, and how it is different from a centralized network in which one company controls, and a distributed in which all networks all are part of a network and interact via P2P. And now we also know what the why a blockchain is preferred, because there is no dominant authority, there are no intermediaries. The transaction is low because there are no intermediaries and they do not charge a fees. So if you want to transfer, say, international payment right now between one, say from India to US or US to India, it generally takes 3 to 4%, and also 2 to 3 days to transfer to come into your bank account. But if you transferred on a blockchain or a wallet to wallet via a cryptocurrency or in USDC, it would be instantaneous in couple of seconds, and which would cost much lower in terms of fees. And as there is no intermediaries, less chance of frauds. So an overview of how a transaction would actually look like in the blockchain world. So I think I've been giving you an overall picture of how and what are the different terms. But what actually happens at a like granular level. So once say someone sends a transaction, so you decided to send money to your friend in like your friend in US wanted to transfer you money. or vice versa. So you requested a transaction between these two parties, and now the network will validate. What does mean by validate? It will check if the party has enough funds. It will check if the other party address is true, and if it's not a fraudulent transaction, as you're not making it up by yourself. And once it's verified, the transaction is added to a block. So we just discussed, or like check a bit what a block is. So new blocks are keep adding, and each block contains the transactional data hashed into it. So once there are enough transactions for a say particular time, all those transactions are used and saved in a new block, and the transaction is complete once a block is added to the network. And the people who validates this transaction are the miners. So there have been a lot of myth about like what mining is. So mining is just the process of validating transaction for any particular blockchain. And in turn, for doing that, people earn rewards for that. So in simple words, mining is just somebody who verifies that transaction and earn rewards for it. So there are different algorithms that are used for mining. Um, so we saw public and private key. So how the transactions are hashed. Like say in a block, we are putting the transactions, right? And we say that the transaction would be hashed. So how it will be hashed is using a public and private key pair. We saw what a public and private key is. So you want to send your money to your friend, right? And this is whatever is your transactional data. You will encrypt that data using your friend's public key. So say I want to send money to Rohan. So I'll take Rohan's public key and encrypt that data and send it to the network. So Rohan can decrypt it. So only Rohan can decrypt it now, because whatever is hashed using his public key can be only decrypted by his private key. So as I knew his public key is available to everyone in the network. I hashed it using that, and encryption can be done by anyone who knows the public key to whom it is referred to, but decryption can only happen by who has the private key. So say if you want to send a message, only the person who has the private key can decrypt it if it's encrypted by his own public key. So if this is intended for somebody, it can be only decrypted by that person. No other person can decrypt it because they would not have the private key to it. And the reward mechanism, we saw that mining or the money which is sent or whatever, all those are done on a term called cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is just that transactional money layer in the blockchain. And it is the reward of which the people get when they mine. So if you verify a transaction, the process of mining, the rewards are earned in cryptocurrencies. There are a lot of different cryptocurrencies, like thousands of them now. Each have some different criteria, each has some different things to it. Some does not have anything and just are for like meme coins, does not have any intrinsic value. They're just form of like fake money or token. So we used to get the lottery tickets or plastic, like fake plastic money. Those currencies, especially the meme coins, are kind of that. Um, so so you can purchase these cryptocurrencies on any exchanges, either centralized or decentralized. So why I'm talking about a centralized exchange in a blockchain class. So as we live in a skewed world, everything cannot be decentralized. And to make easy for people, there are companies that has evolved which allow you to buy digital currency, which are cryptocurrencies, on a centralized network. So the Binance, Wajirex, BitBNS, all these exchanges where you can like trade cryptocurrencies are actually not decentralized networks. So what happens in those area, the company holds all the Bitcoins and Ethereum and just allots the number to you, ki say you own this, and that's how they allow you to like buy and trade. Um, like any doubt till here, you can just stop for a second. So so now as we talked about like what can happen or how you can interact with it, what are the areas a blockchain can be used? So this is the most important part. Um,
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
I have a doubt. How can we transact using a Bitcoin?
I couldn't hear you. Can you please say again?
How can we transact? How can we do a transaction using a Bitcoin?
Okay. So if you are not doing it on an exchange, right, which is like a central authority, what you need to know is the public key, which I said, right, is the address of the other user. So via a wallet, you can like send money to someone. You can just enter their name or enter their address, which looks like this, and send money directly. There is no bank involved in that. You just need to know the wallet address of the user, which is public key.
Thank you.
Clear or still not?
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
So that's I was like saying key blockchain is just not about cryptocurrencies. So what other areas we can use blockchain? One is global payment for sure. Remittance is like a subsidiary of global payments. P2P lending is as well. So you can like lend money to people. But now all these things, why we need on blockchain, right? I can normally do it. I can like if I have to lend somebody money, I can UPI them. But what involves the guarantee, what involves the trust is due to the blockchain because via smart contracts, you can embed logics to the transaction. So say um, you lend money to someone of your friends for a particular time. I'm just giving an example. So this logic can be included itself in the transaction. So say I am lending you 100 rupees for a month. After a month, the transaction the, you'll get your money automatically back if he has agreed or signed that transaction. So there are a lot of ways you can embed business logic into the money itself. So that's what the new money looks like, which has logic into it. You can use it to like store data, because as we saw, the data at any end is always encrypted. So you can use it to store your health records, your voting records, your like intellectual property, all these data which are sensitive and does not need everybody to read, no, can be stored using on a blockchain in an encrypted manner, so that no one authority holds a right to it. So if say healthcare record is encrypted, you can also encrypt in a normal Web2 world, but then you have to use some storage authority, right? Which is either Google Drive or any database. Then it's centralized. They still have access to it. But if it's stored on a blockchain, first of all, it will be stored in different multiple pieces, and so that the one single person does not have that data. So in case of record keeping, and there are a lot of financial distribution, like financial aspect, equity markets, private market, crowdfunding, derivatives, which are all part of DeFi, which is called decentralized finance. There are a lot of use cases in that. You can check what a DeFi is. So it allows you to interact with a lot of new commodities, new assets, like investments. So there are logistical applications for in supply chain to like track every aspect. There are consumer applications, so which can be created. Like Starbucks has their new loyalty program created, which is based on smart contract, which is based on like NFTs and other blockchain technologies. So it opens a new world in terms of how the interaction of the user and the data would look like. And that's the key of the Web 3.0, that user own its own data, can read and write. So like a lot of companies are trying to come up with their own blockchain solutions. Right now you are seeing a lot of hype about Web3. Before that, it was a lot hype about market of blockchain and Bitcoin. Right now, we are in a like upward trend again. But every major firm or every major bank is trying to experiment with blockchain and come up with solutions. So there's recently Bitcoin ETF got launched. So people can invest um, in Bitcoin in a traditional finance. So as you are all person who are seeking jobs, or what are the different sectors that you can like participate, is you can become a software developer for like a blockchain company. Engineering skills means managerial positions. If you understand um, blockchain, you can lead or work in that domain. Network builders, as we talked, that Bitcoin and all other cryptocurrencies run on distributed networks. So the network engineers or the people who have knowledge about distributed networks can work in the core of the protocol to enhance it and like maintain it. people who are in data mining or who are interested in like data science can also work in the blockchain field to make sense of all the data which is stored on different blockchains and like make sense out of it. Programmer, you can be a now like creating consumer applications based on blockchain, which does not involve a lot of blockchain programming, or you can be a blockchain developer who writes the smart contracts. So I have differentiated these two because the programmer would not write smart contracts. They would be just interacting with the smart contracts when they are writing consumer applications. A blockchain developer is who mostly write smart contracts. Any like doubt or thing there where you can like go into different sectors? Any doubt or anything that still is a buzzword to you and you don't understand what it is?
So, Aman, I think we are nearing the closing of the session, I think.
Okay.
So, I don't think if there are no more questions, we can just move on.
Sure. So I think we can wrap up Rohan as well. I think that's the introduction session. I was I kept last 5 minutes to have questions, but if there aren't any questions, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aman. Thank you for that insightful session that you have given. People feel free to give out your feedback. We have a feedback form on the chat box. We also had a link where you can register yourself to get access to the recorded content, not only to this session, but to any other session which has been happening for the past month. So feel free to access the link, register yourself, and provide us feedback as well in another link. If there are no more questions, thank you so much, Aman. Thank you for the session. Thank you, people, for joining. I would sign off at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohan.